Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways to make your computer faster. Everybody's seen it. You know, the longer you have a computer, the slower it gets. The first one being if you go to Control Panel and open Programs and Features. Any program you see in here that doesn't look familiar, or it's familiar and you don't use it anymore, you just simply want to click it and uninstall it. And it's usually just simple next, uninstall to uninstall any program. But if you go through and uninstall any programs that you don't think you need, just be cautious to make sure you don't uninstall something that you do use or do need, because then you'll have to reinstall it to get it back on there. The second thing you can do is open your File Explorer and right click C, go to Properties, and under the General tab you'll see Disk Cleanup down here. If you click that, you can go through and check temporary internet files, downloads, recycle bin, temporary files, and thumbnails. Once all those are checked, go ahead and click Clean Up System Files, and it'll run through and clean those out. And then you just want to verify for cleanup. The third thing you can do to make your computer faster is go and open Command Prompt by typing CMD. And there's two commands you can run. I will include both of these in the description below. The first one's going to be chkdsk, chkdsk. Now, if you get this error, you want to close and right click to run as administrator for command prompt. And this can sometimes be a lengthy process. Usually the longer it takes, the more it's analyzing and cleaning. My computer is pretty new, so it shouldn't take much on my end. And the other command you can run is sfc/scannow. And so both of these commands, they go through the file systems and they repair anything that may be wrong with them. And in the process, it'll speed up the computer. One thing you can check while you're waiting on that is if you type About down here and go to System, you can see how much RAM you have. RAM is random access memory, so if you have like 2 or 4 gigabytes, you would most likely have to buy RAM and install it. If you're running heavy programs, you'll definitely need more RAM, but if you're just using it for email or web browsing or whatever, 8 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, that should be plenty. Once you start getting to 16, you're most likely running some heavier applications. And while this is running, I'll go ahead and show you guys the last thing. If you go to Start, type msconfig, and on the Startup tab, Click Open Task Manager. And now these are all, when you start up the computer, these are all the programs that start up automatically. So if your computer is extremely slow when booting up, you probably have a lot of applications in here. And what you want to do is any applications that you don't need on startup, you want to click it and then disable. So for me, I don't need iTunes when booting up the computer, so I'm going to disable that. OneDrive, that syncs, so I would want to have that personally on startup. Logitech Download Assistant, I don't need that. I don't even have a Logitech mouse connected half the time, so I don't need that. So you kind of have to use judgment on what to disable. If you use Word every day, you probably want to have Word in there on startup. But like I said, if you're using iTunes or something and you only use iTunes to back up your phone, probably want to disable something like that. Once this scan now command completes, if there are any errors, it'll tell you. If not, it'll tell you either way. But that's it. I hope those few tips and tricks helped. For more DIY IT videos, like and subscribe.